Well, good morning, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
Happy Friday, everyone. Glad to have you here with us. I'm Tim Pham. Well, it is going to be a little bit mild and calm weather-wise as we head into the weekend.
That's right. So if you wanted to get outside anytime this weekend, it's the perfect time to do so. So let's go ahead and send things outside to our meteorologist, Jeremy Legoo, who's giving us a look at the forecast on this Friday.
What are you doing out there?
I know.
I'm trying to be cool. Like, is this how cool people stand?
Sure.
Sure. You're cool, Jeremy.
Tim, why did I sense a little bit of sarcasm?
There's no sarcasm.
What? None. No.
Maybe I was looking for it. That's why. Don't look for the sarcasm, people. Look for the good. 30 degrees in Coeur d'Alene, 28 in Spokane, 29 there in Deer Park. And how about a chilly morning in Moses Lake, 21? Wenatchee, you sit at 35. So it's a somewhat cool start to the day, and we do have a little bit of that patchy fog. Most of that sticking to some of the valleys or mountaintops. Look out past seeing it, Snoqualmie past seeing it. But how about Omak and Deer Park kind of socked in some of that? We are going to see the fog spread a little bit this morning, but today is kind of our least foggy morning of the next few. Unfortunately, we're building in a big ridge of high pressure, and that's going to play a big role in what we wind up seeing, because for now, it's just a little bit of light cloud cover. I've kind of lost the moon in the sky. I could see it a little earlier, but now it's kind of gone behind some of those clouds. As we move through the day, the clouds kind of linger across the eastern third of Washington. You move down into the Palouse, you might find some breaks in it. You're in North Idaho, you're up in the Panhandle. It's going to be a lot more cloud cover. You want the sun? Head out into the Columbia Basin or even the Cascades. You're going to see plenty. You might even be jealous of the west side this weekend because they're going to see more sunshine than what we wind up getting because we're just kind of socked in the clouds. So today, expect it to be mostly cloudy. Remember, I'm a snow optimist. I'm also a sunshine optimist, so I do think we might see a couple peaks of it as temperatures climb into the upper 30s later today. You want more sun? Well, I've got that advice. Either head to the Columbia Basin, the Cascades, the Northern Rockies, anywhere up high, or maybe even the west side, because for us, we'll see a little bit of it this weekend, but we're back in that foggy cycle starting tomorrow.
Spokane Public Schools is canceling classes this Monday. It's due to ongoing staffing shortages, so there will be no morning or afternoon childcare, and athletics and extracurricular activities scheduled for that day will be adjusted. Also, Woodland Middle School is temporarily moving to remote learning. This is due to a high rate of staff absences from COVID and other illnesses. The switch will start this Friday and will continue through Monday. The school will then reevaluate the situation on Monday and decide whether or not to return to class or continue remote learning. Now, North Idaho College will be removing to remote learning as well for a 2-week period starting Monday due to the increase in COVID cases. Now, that's according to our news partner at the Coeur d'Alene Press. At a board meeting on Wednesday, school officials said the plan is to minimize the overall foot traffic to reduce the spread of illness on campus. The move comes as school leaders say there's been a significant rise in COVID cases, and it's putting a tremendous strain on the entire college community. To keep students, faculty, and staff safe, they plan to reduce the number of face-to-face interactions through February 4th.
Happening today, the National Guard will arrive at Providence Sacred Heart. Governor Jay Inslee announced last week that he would be deploying the Washington National Guard to hospitals across the state to help alleviate that strain of COVID-19 related hospitalizations. The National Guard will help with non-medical tasks to free up healthcare providers for an emergency.
Not just for Omicron patients, but for heart attack victims, for car crash victims, for gunshot victims. They all need help right now. And this is a difficult, but it is a necessary decision to make sure people get access that is life-saving right now.
10 members of the Guard will arrive. They are expected to stay for 30 days. The last time the National Guard was in Eastern Washington, they were actually in Pullman to help after that COVID outbreak among WSU students. It is 6:04 on the dot. It is time for your morning rush. More news in less time. Major Crimes is investigating a shooting. It happened yesterday around 5 p.m. in Elk, Washington. Now, the incident was first reported as a hit-and-run accident. The authorities arrived. They found a man laying on the ground with a gunshot wound. He was quickly taken to the hospital. The Spokane County Sheriff says that he is in stable condition. Now, this is a developing story. We'll keep you updated here on Up with KREM and on KREM.com. Washington is one of the few states that do not pay income tax, but that could change. State law prohibits income taxes, but this proposal would allow local jurisdictions to raise funds through income taxes, but only with equal cuts to existing taxes like the sales tax or property taxes. One lawmaker thinks it's time the state's wealthiest residents pay their fair share. STCU will temporarily be closing some of their branches across eastern Washington. Moran Prairie, Cheney, Silver Lake, and Ritzville have their lobbies closed right now, but drive-thrus will be open. The Hutton Building branch in Spokane and downtown Coeur d'Alene, they'll remain closed as well. STCU says this is due to pandemic-related staffing shortages. And Gonzaga women toppled the University of Portland. The Zags led by 7 points in the middle of the fourth quarter, but Portland quickly came back to the lead with under 3 minutes left in the game. Post Falls native Melody Kempton would knock down a jumper to extend the lead to 7 points. The Zags held on for a 68-59 win, improving to 13-4 on the season. Head coach Lisa Fortier credits the seniors like Kempton for the win, and that's a look at your morning rush.
Today, Idaho Governor Brett Little will be holding a press briefing in Post Falls. Now, he's expected to meet with the Department of Labor to discuss his state of the state along with budget priorities. The last time Governor Little was in the inland Northwest, he visited the COVID-19 monoclonal antibody treatment center at the Kootenai County Fairgrounds. At the time, Idaho hospitals were operating under crisis standards of care due to a surge in COVID-19 hospitalizations. Today's press conference is set for 9:30 a.m.
Taking a live look now, if you are taking a flight through SeaTac, there might have recently noticed some posters aimed at giving victims of human trafficking a voice. And that's a goal of a first of its kind campaign designed to put an end to this form of modern day slavery. It's all part of Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Angela Kakade reports from SeaTac Airport.
This is the first time that so many different agencies and elected officials are coming together to fund a statewide campaign. It's also the first time signs like this one are really encouraging victims themselves to speak up and feel empowered. It's something Rebecca Covington says might have helped her when she was being trafficked at 17.
Trafficking can happen to anyone. You know, it has no bias.
Across cities and counties in Washington, inside airports, on Sound Transit, and to the sea, the words "not alone" seen by millions.
Being able to see and have access to the posters at these different places where people move and are transported to is really important.
Seattle area native Rebecca Covington knows firsthand how important after a tough senior year of acting out in high school and getting kicked out of her home.
I was sex trafficked, so sexually exploited.
She said it happened slowly. First, the grooming.
They manipulate you into glorifying almost what's happening.
Then, dependency.
If you ever do get out of this, no one's going to want you because you've done this. You're never going to be able to have a relationship because you have a criminal record. Now you're never going to be able to get a job.
And finally, the threatening.
And I just remember sitting down and just praying one morning. I was in Las Vegas and I just said, God, do something to get me out of this situation.
2 years across state lines from Washington to Texas to Nevada. In fact, surveys of trafficking victims show that 38% traveled by plane at some point during their exploitation. 63% used mass transit, hidden in plain sight.
People that are being exploited want out, but they don't know what the path is.
Washington Democratic Representative Tina Orwell is just one official backing this campaign, turning to survivors like Rebecca for help.
If I saw something like a poster that I had access to, I would have felt more comfortable and safe to talk to someone.
Now, part of this campaign is also training for airport officials, employees, and the public to recognize some of the signs of human trafficking. Some of those include someone looking down, looking confused, or perhaps being with somebody that seems to have control. For now, reporting at SeaTac Airport, Angela Kakade.
KREM 2 News.
None of them can get any of these at-home tests because everything shows as a business address.
Some people are running into roadblocks while ordering their COVID tests from the government.
And the one thing to know about weather today is that we're heading into a much drier weather pattern. As things dry out across the inland Northwest, you might see a little sun, but we're also heading back into the foggy pattern. I'll let you know how to ditch the fog if you want to this weekend.
It's time for your wake-up call. So today, we're pretty much a month past Christmas, right? So we want to know, do you still have your decorations up? And here are some of the
Yes.
responses that we've gotten today. We already know, Tim and I definitely. We're a definite yes. Let's see what people are saying. Some people say by New Year's Day, or the weekend after. Here we go. My Christmas decor stays up as long as I
Yes.
want. Yes. I like this answer, though. I take my Christmas decorations down January 6th, the Epiphany, which is the last day of the Christmas season.
Yeah, I learned about that.
That's a good one.
Okay.
My mother always took her Christmas tree down. The little Christmas tree was about January 6th or January 7th. Okay. Maybe Tim and I are just a little bit
No,
late.
I'm going to keep mine going.
Keep it
Brings
going,
me so
Tim.
much joy,
It
but
does.
not so much on my electric bill. All right, here's a live look outside. We say good morning to you, inland Northwest. This is a look from our storm tracker right now. You can see road conditions A-OK on this Friday morning. Hey, the weekend is almost here. A big shout out to our viewers watching this morning in Meade and Pullman. Let us know where you're watching from. You're up with KREM.